Would you date someone who's trans? Would you date someone who's black? Would you date someone who's fat? Would you date someone who's disabled?
Ooh, I love Q&As. All right, who would I date? A trans? Absolutely not. Black? Why not? Fat? More cushion for the pushing. And disabled? Probably not.
Now, honestly, I don't know what your answer is to those questions, but I've met a surprising number of people who would say no to all or at least some of them. Their argument is that it's just a preference and that you can't control who you're attracted to.
Well, sweetheart, it is just a preference. That's why they call it dating preference. We're not employers and we're not accepting job applications. And thankfully, there's no discriminatory law in place that says that we have to date someone based on their fucking skin color. There's no judgment that goes into it. If I'm attracted to you, I date you. But I'm sorry, I don't date chicks with dicks.
I think most of the time that this is brought up, it's in regards to race. I'll link to a couple really good videos in the description about racial dating preferences, but in this video, I want to talk about our other biases. Let's start with trans people. Would you date a trans person, honestly? Think about it for a second. Okay?
So while I was trying to make that decision, I drove over to the Sonic Drive-In, ordered a jalapeno burger, a chicken fried steak sandwich, a chili cheese dog with extra onions, French fries, tater tots, washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary.
Got your answer? Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're a horrible person who hates trans people. There was probably a time in my life when I said I wouldn't date a trans person, but since then, I've thought critically about it and changed my mind. I could sit here and show you photos of conventionally attractive trans people. There are definitely trans people who you would never know are trans unless they told you, because they pass for cis. And that might convince some of you, but I think arguing that you would only like a trans person if you didn't know they were trans is a poor argument. I think you could be attracted to any trans person, whether they pass or not. I think the main concern that people have in regards to dating a trans person is that they won't have the genitals that they expect.
Well, you're right about that one. It definitely does come down to genitals. If a man wants to reproduce with a woman, is it inherently wrong for him to want to? Apparently to you it is. And to not disclose to someone that they're a trans person, wouldn't you say that falls under identity theft?
Well, I guess you're kind of genitalifying them? Anyway, my point is, we have implicit biases that we were raised with or that we developed over time, and they can be hard to get rid of.
Wanting kids and not wanting to suck cock. Such a hard bias to get over.
And I think this can be especially prominent within the queer community. Gay men often pride themselves on being disgusted by vaginas, and the same goes for lesbian women with penises. It's difficult because some queer people have built their sexual identities on these repulsions, but I don't think they're innate at all. If you met someone who was extremely attractive, had a great personality, but didn't have the genitals that you wanted, you might be surprised to find that it isn't a deal breaker.
This goes back to my original argument on attraction. If someone simply isn't attracted to those types of genitals, then they have the right to not be attracted to it and make the decision of if it's a deal breaker or not. They don't need you in their face saying, that's discriminatory, you're wrong.
As someone who is trans and gay, sometimes people ask me with a very accusatory tone if I would date a girl with a penis. Because there's this stereotype that trans lesbians are just predatory cis men creeping on cis women. But the thing is, I absolutely could be attracted to a woman with a penis. I could be attracted to any woman, cis or trans. If I find you attractive, I don't care what you have down there.
So why even make the argument? I mean, it's your right to be attracted to who you want to be attracted to, and it's also your right to be who you want to be. Be a girl if you want. But why can't everyone else just be the way that they want to be without you waving the finger in their face saying that they're being discriminatory? I mean, why can't we just go back to the days when everyone just worried about themselves? Well, that's about all I could handle for that video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at TBCompilations. Thanks.
I would die for you.